Hi guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel and to another plan with me. This is for the week of January 20th through the 26th, and I'm using the Dragon Rider kit from Scribble Co. And this kit specifically is being utilized because it was the week that Onyx Storm came out, and I knew that I wanted to use this kit for when it came out, and it released on the 21st. For underlays and stuff like that, I actually am using my own underlays from my own shop. I finally got some paper that I was able to test out. This is the foil bundle that I pulled in from Scribble Co. But the underlays that I'm using solid underlays in the gold scale foil, and then I'm just using dragon underlays that are just in black. And I finally tested paper, guys. For those of you who ask me always about, and these are overlays from Planet Hannah that I foiled myself in the gold hollow scale foil. But for those of you who always ask me about my shop, I am finally testing paper, and we are making headway on trying to reopen back my shop because I am testing the paper, seeing how it goes today. Actually, as I am doing this voiceover, I'm also going to be testing some more paper. So yes, it is coming. I promise it is coming. I'm working on it very slowly, but this was my first tester page that I did those solid underlays. It did not foil the best, but it did foil. It was also miscut from my silhouette, so that might have played a role into it. But yes, the only thing with it that I don't like is, as you guys will see when I put down the underlays, is that it kind of creates, it's not as clear as my old paper, so it's a little fuzzy when you put it down, if that makes sense, but you guys will kind of see when I put it down. So that's the normal one, and then the overlay is also the new paper that I didn't, actually no, I did foil it, the dragon overlay, and it's a little fuzzy, so you kind of see me like kind of rubbing out those fuzzes a little bit. So I don't quite know how I feel quite yet. But we're testing it. We're one step closer to me testing and getting my shop open. So yes, if anyone was curious, those are the underlays that I'm using. Both of those are technically from my shop, which will be coming back sometime soon. But I wanted to use as many also of the overlays that I could that were from Planet Hannah, because I did purchase those, and I foiled them myself as well because I can. And I made it to match the dragon underlays that foil that I'm putting down right now. And I use Fascinating, You Look All Frail and Breakable, but you really are a violent little thing, aren't you? And then I use I'm the Sky and the Power of Every Storm That Has Ever Been, I Am Infinite, which I use that one on the lightning box because obviously. And then I use one other quote, which was A dragon without its rider is a tragedy, a rider without its dragon is dead, which obviously had to do that one. And the rest of them are like little, like the icons and stuff like that from Planet Hannah. And then I used also the foil overlay from the foil bundle. Wow, my brain just completely shut off. And then I did use both of the tall boxes just because I wanted both Terran and Andarna in there. And the whole reason why I used like the gold hollow scales and gold with this was because of Andarna. And I didn't realize that the fashion boxes that I bought are literally the same boxes that are in this kit. So it was kind of pointless for me to use that for some reason. I don't know why I ended up buying that. Maybe it was just because I just wanted the Terran tall box, but I did use both Terran and Andarna because obviously you have to. But I have been waiting to use this kit for such a long time because I love Fourth Wing, the first book. As the series has gone on, been a little disappointed with the second and third book. The third book, in my opinion, is better than the second one because I just was not a big fan of the second one. But I love the first book. The first book is such a good book. And as I've sat on, like, after reading Onyx Storm, because obviously it's a couple weeks after it, I don't have like a full, like, this is how I feel type of feeling towards it, if that makes sense, because I keep going back and forth on whether I think I enjoyed it or not. I think it's just one of those where the author she loves cliffhangers, she loves to kind of give you the runaround, but then gives you answers, and it kind of gets a little old after a while, especially after 3 books, but we'll see how it goes, we'll see how I feel. But Fourth Wing at one point, the Fourth Wing book, I think, is my favorite, like, book in the series. At one point, it was my favorite series, but I I think I've kind of calmed down on that portion of it, because as the books have come out, I'm like, ooh, you're not that great. But I still love it, and still think that like the whole entire just story is incredible. It's like a mix of like Hunger Games with Divergent, with dragons and fantasy, and like I still enjoy the world. It's just sometimes the storyline's a little iffy, but yeah, it was fun to finally be able to read Onyx Storm after a whole year and a half of waiting after Iron Flame, and I was waiting to use this kit specifically for when it came out as well. So it's kind of drastic, because last week's spread was obviously the Frosted Dreams one, which is all nice and bubbly and like pink and blues and purples, and then there's this one that's like here, dark, anger, dungeons, dragons. So yeah, other than that, I didn't have a lot that happened this week compared to the next week, or actually no, it's not the next week after that. I just planned my West Virginia spread, and oh my god, guys, the amount of labels I had to put down for that. But these few Plan With Me's that are before that one are very calm, which is really, really nice. But this week I had a dentist appointment. This was my first of multiple dentist appointments. I don't know if I had mentioned, I went to the dentist for the first time in 5 years back in December, and that was my cleaning, and I already knew this was going to happen because I am prone to cavities in general, even with great dental care. I had cavities on all four sides of my mouth, and my dentist likes to split them up and do them all in separate appointments, and then also I needed a root canal. So I had my first of the filling appointments on the Monday of this week, and it was the worst one out of all of them. It took them almost 2.5 hours, because all of the fillings that I had to do were all surrounded by or the cavities that I had were also surrounded by old fillings, and the one that he did on this day was really, really, really deep, and they had to put a whole medical cap on it and everything. It was a whole mess, but it took forever. So this was the first start of my dental appointments. Most of them were in February, and then I do have my root canal coming up on next Monday, the 24th. So yeah, it's been a wild time, but that's literally the like highlight other than Onyx Storm coming out of this week. But let's go ahead and get into the day by day. So Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I did use this Black Lives Matter munchkin because I figured it represented it kind of well. It's also the only like darker skin toned munchkin that I have, so I figured I would use that for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then the script is from Kinsey's Creations, whose shop I believe is no longer open. And then as always, I had all of my assignments due on Monday, so I had my written assignment due, so I used the Once More with Love paper due sticker and the custom that I make for myself. And then I did have a case study. Was this the first case study that I had to do for this class? No, this was the second one. So I did have a case study number 2 for this day. So I used a paper and milk Maru with a highlighter. And then I did have to respond back to discussion boards, and I used a group project munchkins and some discussion responses from my shop. And then I did mark my dentist appointment. So I used a tooth from Paper and Milk also, and then the appointment script is from the foil bundle. And then I marked that I was swollen. Guys, I had so much bad jaw pain. I was swollen. I was in pain. This one made me realize that I was like, oh my god, are the rest of them gonna be that bad? And they weren't. It was just this first one. I didn't realize that I chose the hard one to get it out of the way. But I was definitely swollen, so I used a little munchkin for that. Moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday, as always, is my payday, so I used an icon and a script both from the foil bundle. And then I did have a Starbucks run, so I used a Scribbler. I used many Scribblers because I had the Scribbler sheet, so I was using as many of them as I could, but I used a Scribbler, and then the script is from the foil bundle as well. And then I marked my sore jaw. I just used a sick Scribbler for that because I didn't really know what else to use to mark it, but it hurt so much that I could barely open my mouth. That's how bad it was. It loosened up by the end of the day after talking all day at work, but I struggled to open my mouth after that. And then Onyx Storm released, so I used a dragon. This is technically a dragon from a Game of Thrones sheet, I believe, from Once More with Love, but I was like, you know what, it matches the spread. It kind of semi looks like Andarna. I don't really care. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I tried to get into it, never watched it, which kind of sucks because I have a Game of Thrones kit, and I just never made it past the first season and a half, I think. I started dying. I started having a cough attack. Sorry if I cough again and this breaks off. I apologize. But yeah, I never made it past like Game of Thrones, like season 1 or 2, and so because of that I never used the Game of Thrones stickers, so we're gonna use them here for Onyx Storm because obviously why not. But yeah, so that was when Onyx Storm released, and instead of me like using my Start Onyx Storm sticker, like the Start reading books, I just decided to do Onyx Storm releases. And then obviously I did read for the rest of the night, so I used a paper and milk marrow and a read script from the foil bundle. And then I did have to take out the trash, and I used an icon from the foil bundle and a trash script from my shop. Moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday was a really, really windy day. This was also, I believe, the week of the Palisades fire. California tends to catch on fire really heavily when it's really windy, and we had some major, major winds this week. So I did mark that it was a windy day, and I used a Month's Worth Love munchkin for that. And then I started going through a bunch of just emotions. I think it started the week before this, did it? I was just having a rough time, and I was emotional, I was anxious, I was just having a really, really rough time, and this is the start of that, and this is what leads me to stop taking a medicine as well as going off of caffeine, but this is where it starts. So I used a paper and milk marrow to mark that I was emotionally unwell, and then the script is from Carly Plans, and then I marked that I was anxious, and I used a munchkin and an anxious script from Kinsey's Creations. On the second half of Wednesday, I did get Del Taco. We probably just got it for dinner or something. So I used a taco from Scribble Co. and the Del Taco script is a custom from my shop. And then I did watch some YouTubes. So I used a icon from Scribble Co. and also another script from the foil bundle. And last but not least, I did call my mans. So I used a Once More With Love phone for that. Moving on to Friday. Friday was another windy day. Again, I was marking it just because, so I used another one of those stickers from Once More With Love to mark the windy day. And then I did get gas in the morning, probably before work, probably before work. And I used a icon. Oh, hello voice. All right. I used an icon from the foil bundle, and the script is from my shop. And then I did place a pretty decent size Once More With Love order. If you guys saw my last haul, you guys already saw what I purchased. So I did use another munchkin, like a little munchkin mail sticker to mark my order. And then I did read again on this day because obviously we're reading Onyx Storm. And I used a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji and a read script that is from my shop. I used the bigger one because I had the space for it. Those big ones do not exist anymore. But it is bigger because it was one of my first ever ones that I created. And then we did get Cheesecake Factory for dinner. I'm pretty positive we got it delivered. My dad has a bad habit of using DoorDash, and I'm pretty positive we got it delivered on this day. So I used a little scribbler with like a knife and fork to mark Cheesecake Factory for dinner. That is it for Thursday. Moving on to Friday. Friday, we were in our feelings, which no one is surprised. I'm telling you, I went through like a rough patch, and I know exactly the reason why, which I will... I can tell you guys, it was birth control. That was the medicine that I stopped taking, and I 1000% after being on it for 6 months, I believe, I was still having side effects, which we love. So it was definitely the wrong birth control for me. So I very much so was still feeling rough on like from this. So that was part of the reason why I was feeling the way I was feeling. There was obviously other reasons as well. There was life reasons that were affecting it. It wasn't just the medicine, but definitely messed up with my hormones. But on Friday, I marked obviously that I was in my feelings, so I used a script from the foil bundle, and then the icon is from Wonton in a Million, which honestly, that little icon is just perfect for how I was feeling. Like it was me. And then I did have to do a discussion board on this day, so I used a Once More Love munchkin and a discussion board script that's a custom. And then I did wash my costume, so I used a custom and an icon from Scribble Co. And I watched some more Friends, which no one should be surprised. I just used the Watch TV script from the foil bundle, and then the character is a Coffee Monsters Co. Ross from... Nope. It's a Ross from the Coffee Monsters Co. Brain cannot function this morning. This is the first thing I'm doing today. Maybe that's why. And then I did have to decline an invite to a social thing that my friend invited me to, but I needed to decline it on like Evite just because she was expecting me to still go. So I was like, oh, hold on, let me decline it because I was working that day. So I did do that with a little clock icon from the foil bundle. And then I did have to call my university on this day, or I didn't have to call them. They called me just to like do like a checkup type of thing. So I used a phone from Paper and Milk for that. Moving on to Saturday. Saturday, I did get Dunkin', so I used a Paper and Milk coffee cup, and the Dunkin' script is from Kinsey's Creations. And then I marked that I was tired AF because I was for some reason. Probably because I was in my feelings and I was not sleeping. So I used a Panda Eyes Munchkin from Once More with Love, and the Tired AF is from the foil bundle. And then I did read some more and use the same script as before, and then the icon is from Paper Bits Co. And then I did, whenever I put grocery shopping, it usually means that we order groceries and we go and pick them up. But I did do some grocery shopping on this day before work. Before work? After work. Had to have been after work. But I used a scribbler, and then the grocery shopping is from the foil bundle. And then I did place a Coffee Monsters Co. order because it's what we do. So I used a Munchkin to mark that. And then I did call my man again on this day because, again, we were going through it. So I used a Once More with Love phone icon again for that one. Moving on to Sunday. Sunday, I had a Starbucks run, but for this one, I used the coffee run script from the foil bundle, and then the cup is the same one from Paper and Milk. And I did order paper on this day. So I had an issue with this because my mailbox got broken into. Guys, I ordered this paper on January 20th. I finally got it like last week. But I did struggle with the paper situation. I actually had to place a second order because I never got this first order. It's somewhere lost in our mail because our mailbox got broken into, and I never got it. So it is what it is. But I did order paper on this day. So I've been trying to get paper since January, and I didn't get it because of our stupid mailbox. But it's fine. Which also my mailbox is like a community kind of mailbox, like the one of the ones where like it's like 10 houses or something like that that's on it. So I'm not surprised that it's like the third time it's gotten broken into, which I don't live in a bad area, but apparently my dad had said that when they had to go to the post office that there was like 30 people waiting for it, and it was like a whole string of mailboxes that were broken into all the way like into like a zip code that was like 4 zip codes away. So they were wild. But yeah, I ordered paper on this day, and then I did cancel an implant appointment. So because I was going through all the emotions and stuff with my birth control, I was actually going to get the implant, the one that goes into your arm, and I had it scheduled, but I canceled it just because I wanted to kind of regulate my hormones again and get off the birth control and then kind of go from there to see if it was the birth control that was causing all my issues, and it was. So I will consider the implant again, but I had it scheduled and I canceled it on this day. So I used a Scribbler doctor to mark that. And then I did pull stickers for Plan With Me's, which is exciting. So the little sticker sheet is from Scribble Prints Co. and the pull stickers I believe is from Kinsey's Creations. And I did reorganize all of my TBR on this day. I actually vlogged on this day, so if you guys want to see that, you can go watch it. But that sticker is from a shop that I no longer purchase from, which is just really cute. It's just really, really big, so it's kind of hard to write around it. And then I did clean everything, like my room and everything. So I used another Scribbler and a cleaning time from the foil bundle. I need to move my planner because I can't open up my extender. And then underneath my extender, I did film, but I just marked it as planning time because I never get to use the planning time scripts. So I was like, you know what? No, I want to use the planning time script. So I used another Scribbler because I have way too many of them, and the planning time script is also from the foil bundle. And I did do laundry on this day. Why did I think I did laundry earlier in the week? Oh, because I washed my costume. I could have sworn I did laundry earlier in the week. But I did wash my clothes on this day, so both the Scribbler and the script are both from Scribble Prints Co., as always. And last but not least, I marked that my Facebook got hacked, because it did. It got hacked. I have a personal Facebook, which I use for like work-related things. I don't even really go on there, but I do have it. And my Facebook got completely hacked by someone who got into it, and within 10 minutes they managed to attach a account that was from Instagram that was against Facebook policy, and it completely disabled my entire account in 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, cool, great. So it did get hacked on this day. I was able to get it back about a week later, but I had to go through a whole entire process just to get it back, which I will talk about in my next plan with me. But yeah, it got hacked on that day, which really sucked. Like, Facebook needs to get a better, or I guess Meta needs to get a better way to contact people, just saying. But that is everything for this spread. That's what's left in the kit. I will give you guys a little bit of a wiggle. Sorry about the glare that's on the left hand side. It's from my window. I thought it would go away, but it did not. But here is the wiggle for you guys. We love the foil. Love. I actually really like this spread. It's just so drastic compared to the last one. But I do really like how it turned out. Yeah, see, I'm trying to fix the glare and it's not gonna work. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in another video very, very soon. Goodbye!